Welcome to another edition of Chit Chat with Jerry Mahoney. How's it going, Jerry? Good, good. Today on Chit Chat, we're going to talk about a rhetorical device of using series in writing to make your writing more powerful. Now, rhetoric is defined as the art or study of using words effectively and persuasively. And it turns out that depending on how many words you put in a series in a sentence, your sentence will change, the tone will change, and you can convey different meanings in your words. What are you talking about? It's going to be clear when we look at some examples. And what do you know about writing? You're just a ventriloquist. Well, you remember I'm also an English teacher. Oh yeah, there is that. So let's go ahead and get started. So a series is, when we talk about series, most of the time, I don't know if you've ever noticed that sentences feel most comfortable when there are three things that you say in a sentence. And we have an example here. So Jerry, what's the first one? Something about Henry Ford, right? You're supposed to memorize this? Oh yeah. Let's see.
Henry Ford made automobiles that were reliable, affordable, and sturdy.
That's good. Series of three. It feels comfortable. It's what we usually expect. So I jotted down a few notes here about using this series of three. So if you wouldn't mind, I'll just read these to you. Why would we choose three items instead of two or maybe even four? Well, because a certain effect is created in the reader's mind when there's three. As reasonable thinkers, we are most comfortable when there are three items listed. We feel better. We feel better informed with three items. It feels right to us. It's comfortable. Another example of a sentence with three items in the series, I think will sound familiar. Among these are what? Life, liberty, right, and the pursuit of happiness. All right. Notice the three, of course, Thomas Jefferson writing for the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, that guy. All right. So what happens when we use a series of two, Jerry? How is the effect different? Well, when we use a series of two, we're telling the reader that what we're discussing is more defined, it's more specific. We don't need three items, we have two, and they make a greater impact. So for example, go ahead and tell us the one that you memorized about Henry Ford. Henry Ford made automobiles that are reliable and affordable. Exactly, reliable and affordable. So we shouldn't automatically go to three. Sometimes you want to do two if you want to be a little more firm in your writing. Okay, and we have one more, right? Actually, we have two more. What happens if we go down to one item? Now, this isn't really a series, but it is using one item to define what we're talking about. A good example is God is love, right? Yeah, sure is. So if we said God is love and generosity and goodness, and it's just not as powerful as what? God is love. All right, so that's the series of one when you really want to make a difference in your sentence. So in the Model T example, Henry Ford, what would we say? We'd say the Model T, Henry Ford made automobiles that were reliable, exactly. Just one thing, reliable. That's what matters. Okay, now what happens if we do a series of four items? Yeah, that's going crazy now. So we're one more than three, and we're maybe 3 and 4 and 5. And what happens if we go even more? All right, so we have a good example here of this. And I'll go ahead and read it if you don't mind. Okay, go ahead. All right, so Henry Ford made automobiles that were reliable, affordable, sturdy, safe, adventurous, yet utilitarian. The feeling here is one of depth and expansiveness, fullness, a bounty, a cornucopia of adjectives describing Ford's achievement when he invented the Model T and later the Model A. That's right, the Model A. There's a certain sense of excitement and passion. So emotion comes into play when you go with 4, 5, or 6 items in a series. Yeah, let your heart out. You go ahead and tell us how you really feel about it. All right, so that's really going to do it for today's Chit Chat. You can use the series of 3, 2, 1, or 4, depending on the tone and what you want to say in your writing. So this is called rhetoric. Again, the study or art of using language effectively and persuasively. And Jerry, you did a good job there today. Well, thank you. So thanks for joining us today on Chit Chat. And what do we say? We'll see you next time. See you then.